guys. It is Steph and Heather and Mark, and this is what are we called again?
Well, a couple of things.
Real
Real and Raw with Steph and Heather and Real and Raw Studios.
and Raw.
R&R Studio. Whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay. So
What's the
we're
official
kind of
What is the official right?
I don't think we have an official. I think officially we're unofficial. So all right.
I like that.
Okay. Good.
It's fluid.
I like it. Yeah, we got range.
Well, we're accepting that terminology, fluid.
Yes, very fluid.
We're fluid only with our
with
the
everything.
name of
Let's just be real with everything. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about today? Today is a serious topic. I mean, I feel like a lot of our stuff is serious, but this is really one that has the country sort of right now encapsulated in just complete focus, right? Like what we are. I don't even know if that sounds
right.
right.
We're kind of like, you know what? It's a shock.
Yes, that's it. It's a
to
shock.
us.
That's a good one.
We're in shock and something, and now it's post shock. So we're all kind of like in this
weird
when
place.
somebody has a seizure, we call, and then afterward it's called post-ictal.
Okay.
And they're just kind of like laying there like, what happened?
Okay.
I feel like that's what
our country's in right now.
The world is in this post-ictal state after this assassination of a person that it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, but, you know, a political figure was assassinated for freedom, for speaking his mind, like speaking his.
Well, he was a threat. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to say that he was even a political. He was a podcaster.
He was a podcaster.
He was a podcaster, right? He wasn't part of the White House. He wasn't, part of that kind of establishment. He was, a person of influence, obviously, to a large community, but specifically for people my kids' ages, right? Like, so we're talking about, if you've been living under a rock, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that assassination, and not necessarily, obviously it's horrific. I was in shock, as everyone, I believe, was in shock, right? I mean, this is a person that my middle son really looked up to. I personally loved listening to him. Did I agree with everything he said? No, not at all.
No.
But I liked his delivery, and I liked how he was respectful, and very informative, right? And he
very well studied.
Yes.
So one thing you can't ever say about the man was that he didn't know what he was talking about. I mean, the guy, he researched everything. You just couldn't debate him. You
could.
You could try.
Right.
And most people that did, ended up kind of going, well, okay, scratching their head.
Right. No, I feel like he's
really,
like a Candace Owens. Like don't come at Candace Owens, or
even if you didn't agree with them. And Ben Shapiro, he's another one. There are some on both ends of the aisle, down the middle. If they are well studied and really prepared and really informed.
They're debaters. Like, don't come. Yeah. Like, if you play checkers, that's one thing. If you're coming here to play chess and you don't know how to play, you're out, right?
You're out.
But I feel like he was very impactful to the youth, to, colleges and university students, that he made people think. Right? You don't have to agree with what he's saying, right? You don't.
You don't have to agree.
But
that should be with anything. And isn't that the purpose behind freedom of speech?
Yes. So that's that's what we're a long way of getting around what we're talking about today is freedom of speech, what this actually has done, if you just strip away the political piece to it, right? That our country really is in distress. We're losing our humanity, people. That's truly, along with freedom of speech. We're going to talk about, right to bear arms,
and this whole stripping away our stuff's just mentioned about humanity. Like, we're not really stripping away. We're thinking about it in a different way. Well, you know what? Maybe they're not so human anymore. It's okay to just assassinate them now because they are a fascist. They have a plan to do something to people down the road. And so we can just eliminate them. They're just like Hitler.
Right, like a
And
stock animal. That's actually what, instead of treating humans like human beings as we should, we are treating it as if it's, and I wouldn't even do that
Livestock.
to a, yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't even do that to a cow. I wouldn't do that to anyone. So, that's probably the biggest piece to me is stopping this hate movement, because that is what is absolutely where psyops come in. Right now, I see them on the left and in the right, happening
Oh my
right
God,
now,
both
right,
sides.
from both
All
sides,
the
just
time.
from
Yes.
this horrific tragedy that has happened.
Yeah.
This is somebody's son, this is somebody's dad, this is somebody's husband, right? Like,
But now we've been desensitized now. So it's like, okay, to just strip the humanity away from this person. Okay, eliminate this fascist. And you know what? Guess what? The media is responsible.
yes,
And
but we're responsible, because guess what? If without our viewers, without people watching, the media wouldn't exist.
all
Okay.
right, well,
So
we
that's
need
what I'm
viewers,
saying, is
correct.
like we are all playing into this system that has been created for us to be divided. And that's what they want. They want us to be
Yes.
angry. They want us to be divided. They want to see this division, because without,
But let me ask you this. So we're in this situation you're mentioning that this is responsibility on the media and we're here and everything, but it's the same as, well, if the bad guy has a gun, the good guy has to have one too.
right.
If there's media that is propaganda, which we all know there's so much of that now, and it's been happening for hundreds of years, however long it's been around, you have to have a counter to that. Right. So we have to be able to sit here and go, hey, what about this? What's the reality of it? And then you have like these reality shows. Every good institution eventually becomes infiltrated with the bad people, especially if people start going, oh, watch this. It's
Right.
truth and it's real.
Right. Right.
Well, then it's like, well, let's use that as a tool and maybe
Right.
hire some people.
Manipulate it. Yeah.
Let's hire some people
Yeah.
to say what we want them to say. And at some point, it seems like everything becomes just completely infiltrated and ruined.
Right. Right. Well, because there's an agenda, I believe,
With
that does
everything.
come along. So
Perverted. It was
So-
the word I was looking for. Perverted.
yeah, they've bastardized it.
Bastardized.
Yeah.
Perverted.
So my biggest thing is, my God, we have lost our humanness. And I continue to say this, and I will say it to
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
If you feel like someone should die because you don't like what they're saying or you don't like how they're living, this is really a great indication that you've lost your perspective. You've lost balance. You've lost
Yeah.
the meaning of life. You've lost the meaning of a value of another human
Yeah.
being, right?
Yeah.
And so it's very easy. I from what I've seen, I see my own, people in my life, a few of them, and I'm like, oh my God, you want somebody to die? Like, this is a fucking problem,
What's
people.
causing it? Tell me.
Well, I think it's
What has caused
brainwashing. It's brainwashing. It's getting, I
much.
want what I want. And I believe so heavily, I've bought into a system. And if you do not subscribe to that and you somehow irritate me, so I'll just tell you, I have a friend who wished that Trump had died. She told me that.
Okay.
She said it twice.
Why?
Not
And
once, twice.
Why?
Why? Because she can't stand him. She thinks he's a piece of shit.
Okay, there's a lot of people I can't stand, but I don't think they should be assassinated.
Correct. And that's what I said to her. And she's like, I don't care. I don't care. I think that that's just how I feel.
Well, he's influencing a lot of people in this world, and abortion and gun rights.
Right.
school
And I said to
shootings.
her, I was like, you sound like this is what Hitler, like you're
Comparing it-
really,
Comparing to
you're
Hitler, but what they're
sounding, and
not
yeah, and she got
seeing-
really pissed off, understandably so.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen, you have devalued a human being because you don't agree with something. And I'm going to tell you that I know a lot of young people saying the same thing, and it's frightening. That's the part that's scary to me, is that, it's not a left or a right, but there's this
No,
brainwashing that's
any of that.
happening. And like, if I don't like what you're saying, I just want to take you out, right? That's not okay.
Does
And
that does that happen? Should that happen in a country like this, where we are supposed to be celebrating and uplifting freedom of speech? With,
well, it's
within reason.
I think it can happen
Even if
anywhere.
it's
I
hate
just
speech.
I
I mean, it's freedom of speech.
it is,
You
but that's
decide.
only
You decide.
freedom of speech works great but it has to be on both sides. And what I think is happening is that so many people, if you're, and I'm talking, usually it's the extremes on the left and the right? But if you do not completely believe what they're saying, they want to stifle your speech.
Who are they?
Well, the extremist,
Yeah.
extremist out there,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, but recently, who were they? Let
Well-
me tell you. Recently, I will tell you my opinion. You may disagree. I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't get into a.
No,
here.
there's
Oh,
no.
okay.
Listen, I'm not going to try and take you out just because
But
I do not,
Heather
agree with
just
what you're
disagrees with
saying.
recently, what I've seen is the violence is coming from a certain
Just
side.
call it out if you're going to. Yeah, let's just.
Well,
so
it's coming from the left.
okay,
The
yes.
violent part.
You know what? And there a lot of the
I'm sorry, but it's
no,
true.
I believe that, and I believe that. I see that, right?
It's true. It's coming from that side.
I can't say it's 100%, but it seems to be very much more so that side, especially with the riots. When protests,
It's hypocrisy.
when
to its-
things sort of, if you see something happen to, somebody that's maybe on the left side, then people start to loot, people start to, protest, but a lot of physical harm comes out of that, right? Like
Yeah,
these
I
are
mean,
not peaceful
physical,
protests.
it's
This is like
destruction
angry
and-
individuals. And here's what I think. I think these angry individuals, and I said this to my friend who said that she wished Trump had died. I said, it sounds like you're angry. Like you've got some real pent up anger. And I think that about a lot of people, that it's their own personal frustration, and they're using this because it's an easy outlet. And that's what I want people to at least think about is, listen, if you find yourself on either side of that situation where you're hating so badly, I just want people to stop for a second and say, do I really feel this way about this person, or has the system got me in such a loop that I'm now thinking this is what I'm doing, but really I'm actually just funneling my own fucking bullshit frustration, because I think that's what it is.
Listen, I
honestly
deleted social media back in 2018 because I remember thinking, this is so damaging.
Right.
It's damaging to the youth. It's damaging to all of us. And I just don't want to look at it anymore. And I deleted it.
So did you
then
feel better after you did
I
that?
felt better for a number of years, but
Here you are again.
I started
you're dipping your toes
coming
back in.
just thinking, well, I can handle this. I
Right.
can handle this.
Right.
I've cleansed myself. I've purged the whole thing. We're doing our podcast. Gotta
Yeah.
get it back. And then I'm seeing this stuff again. I'm thinking, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's this level of us versus them, and there's nothing in between anymore, and that
Right.
terrifies me. It's like when our parents were younger, they used to be kind of like, yeah, they have this whatever, but now it's kind of like you have to just walk out the front door or go anywhere and think, can I
speak my mind? No. And so what? Yeah. 20.
crazy.
My ex-husband and I, so I was a registered Democrat and he's a registered Republican. It was a joke. Like there was never this contentiousness between us. There was not, like we were, married, and we would laugh because he's
And
like,
we should be able to do
thank
this.
God you don't vote, because
Why do we do
we'd be canceling
Why
each other
can't we do
out.
this? Why can't we do this?
Yeah.
More.
Exactly. But you know what?
It's
I
like,
will.
no, you have to love Hitler or Mao Zedong. like a complete communist, or you have to have
Right.
like this ideology of 100% communism or 100% fascism, and everyone's going, "Whoa, this okay." Charlie Kirk. This is what we were getting to with the this whole thing that sparked this. We were inspired to do this like last minute thing. He's a fascist. Fascist. What does that mean?
Right. Well,
What does
just
that
because
mean?
people say things doesn't necessarily, we know
Well,
that. Like, you can
but
be called a lot of things.
but I understand that. But when you're watching the news and things every day, going, and I can pull up a bunch of clips, we can pull and plug them in. You have AOC going, well, here's what fascism is, and
Right.
Donald Trump, and she's bullet pointing to the people that are listening, and Kamala Harris is asked, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist? Yes, I do.
Right. Right. Right.
And so they're watching these huge political figures that they're devoting everything
Right.
to.
But again, they have that freedom of speech, right? So that they're
They've got the
afforded.
and now that's where the irony comes
Yeah,
in.
that is the freedom of
The
speech that we
freedom of
all
speech.
are
We
afforded
all
to
have it.
have, at least at this moment. And so
Yeah.
I feel like, guess
I
what?
love that you said that.
Yeah, but I feel like we need to have that. And
Yeah.
so I posted something
Yeah.
on my social media
Bryce,
like a few hours after Charlie Kirk situation, tragic situation happened.
horrible.
And my whole thing was, we need to stop the hate, period, right? And somebody had said, well, we just need better gun control. And I think my response was something like, it's not the guns that are killing people. It's the evil people who are pulling the trigger, right?
Listen, if it's not a gun, it's a knife. If it's
It's-
not a knife, it's a hammer.
but
If it's
so
not
listen.
a hammer, it's a pencil.
Like, exactly. And like something Mark had said to us, he's like, well, what about cars? Are we going to ban cars? And I thought, cars are probably
Well,
the
they
number
were
one killer.
written, yeah.
Number one killer, right?
Yeah.
Besides, cardiovascular something or another, right? But like,
But there's
we're
an
not
argument.
gonna-
There's
we're-
an argument. They'll bring an argument.
yeah, but we're not going to just get rid of cars. I don't see anybody giving that freedom up. But, so it's not guns
Cars
that
are
are
not
killing.
Cars are not intended just to kill now. Guns are.
No, but
They're
guns are to
intended to
protect.
kill.
They're called protection. They're called
But
protection.
I'm just
Yeah.
devil's out. This is their argument. The other side would say, well, no, that's not a legitimate
Right.
argument. Now, cars.
Wait, I
hammers
just
and-
want to ask one question to anyone who does have that
What do you
argument.
do?
What happened with the Germans when they rounded up all those guns and things? Like, they had no fucking shot. They had no
Well,
shot.
That's what happened in Australia too.
Yeah.
Once you disarm a population, then you have
Absolutely.
absolutely no recourse.
And there's no
If you have a
control.
corrupt
Yeah.
government at that point. Let's say they're all brainwashed under somebody that's like Hitler. You're done.
You're done. You've
you're
got no
fucking
recourse.
done. I'm sorry. I'm telling the you're done.
Right. And that's why there are certain groups still in the US right now. They're militia. They have militia because constitutionally, if we need them, they're there.
Listen, I will tell you right now, I'm going out on a limb saying this, and this is a lot of people that know understand what I'm saying will agree. Charlie Kirk right now, if he were to hear what we were saying, and we're just this tiny little podcast now, but if he were to hear what we were saying right now, he would say, keep going. I don't want you to stop talking about rights to bear arms, even though I was killed that way.
Right. Because he knew.
Because I died for that purpose. I know I'm with my
Absolutely.
Savior. I'm not a staunch, I'm not this huge, Christian.
Right.
Both
We're not. We're kind of
But
not religious, but
we're not.
but we
But
believe
I
in a higher source. Yeah.
100% believe in what he believed in, that love, and that was
Right.
he believed in.
He had
and
it,
I
yeah.
believe that. But you know what? That's true. He died.
Yeah. Well, it's
supporting
kind
what
of
he
like
believed
I
in.
don't want to like Martin Luther King, but
Yeah.
like these are people that were big public figures
Right.
who were highly influential, right? And
Right.
so what happened? This individual decided that he was gonna take it into his own, accord, and he's gonna, take this guy out. Well, guess what? What happens is, like, when you start to do that, like, when do you stop? When you
At what
just
point
like
does it end?
okay, so you can start to justify all of these. Like, so if the media waters this down in
Yeah.
any form or
Yeah.
fashion,
Yeah.
then you're basically saying, it's not that big of a deal, right?
Right,
I mean, we
right.
do not condone this type of behavior.
No.
I don't care who you are. And that's the
Listen,
problem, is
guys.
that, like, people are they're making it a political thing. This is not political. This is a humanity thing.
It's a human right. You are born with the freedom. You have a voice. You were born with vocal cords. You're
Yeah.
born with a will. You're born with a brain. You're born with the faculties of thinking, feeling, and guess what? Man is not in charge of that.
Right.
Something above you,
Something
bigger than
higher.
you and within you is in charge of that.
Yes.
Whether you call it God, whether the Savior is
Source.
Jesus Christ, God bless. Listen. I love Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, you are born with these God-given faculties. Not a human, not Xi Jinping, not Vladimir Putin, not Bill Gates, not George Soros, not Anthony
Trump.
Fauci,
No.
not Trump,
Nobody.
not Charlie Kirk,
Yep.
none of them. You were born with this from the
The higher source, yes.
and so you have these for a reason. Exercise them. And if that means you're going to put your life down, then guess what? Your future generations, after you, are going to benefit from that. That's what happened with our founding fathers.
Right. Absolutely. So, like, this is something that, look, it's not, we are, I feel like, at this strange crossroads, right? Of, enough is enough. Like, we've
Yeah.
seen enough of this, and
Yes.
people are just, if you're a human being,
Yeah.
right? And you still do have that pulse, that compassion, that soft heart that allows us to be human, right?
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
My God, this has to be nauseating. It's enough already. Like, stop
I
the
mean, look,
hate.
There are political figures from both sides in the United States. When we say both sides in the United States, we understand that other countries are different. Celebrities, so many people are coming forward and supporting. Hey, look, you should be able to say what you want.
Yeah, because
without being murdered.
no, because
But-
in a lot of countries you can't do that, and so the
Listen,
problem
guys,
is,
and those people that support, well, guess what? The irony is, you can't say what you want.
correct.
You can't dress the way you want. You are not giving the same rights. This is one of those few places
It
that
is.
you can just say it without any consequence.
Right, and that goes on either side of anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can be the biggest
a
dick on
martyr.
the planet, and you still have that right to do that. Okay,
Yes,
Yeah,
here
it-
you do.
absolutely, and
you know
thank
what?
God
Charlie
we
Kirk
have
lived
that.
Guess what? He lived that actual experience. He lived it. He preached it, and he died that way.
Yeah,
That's the way he died.
but
And
so
his widow expresses that.
yeah, absolutely. And so hopefully this will at least, I feel like when tragedies happen, it's an opportunity for us to really look at whatever that situation was, how we're living, how that's affecting people, and hopefully learn in a positive way, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Yes, it is sad, and he was a public figure,
Yeah.
right? But people are dying all the time. And so somebody
Right,
did say something to
right.
me, what makes him more important than the next? Like, the kids that
He's
died
not
in
more
this,
important.
and nobody's more important than the
No.
next. It's just he happened to be a political, I mean, listen, I hate to say, if one of these celebrities, like, I don't even want to give a name, but like died tomorrow, they're going to get more coverage than somebody that,
Well, it
was a B-lister actor, right? It's just the way it is.
Times too. It's like, well, Jesus Christ, he was there, but he also had many followers that probably went through so much pain
Right.
following the word. Buddha, the same thing. And there was no media. And God only knows how many martyrs that we've
Right.
had in the world that we
Right.
don't even know about. Maybe they've been
But these
lifted up even
people,
higher than
yeah.
the ones that we know about, right?
But he just happened to be
Happened
such
to be.
a public influence, and
Yes.
he really
In the
did
media.
start these movements.
Yes.
So, somebody had brought that to my attention. They're like, well, these kids, their life wasn't, less valuable than the next, than his. Why would he get this? I'm like, he's getting it because he's already getting that kind of traction.
Yeah.
And, he is kind of like a podcast celebrity,
Yeah.
right? He made a big impact in a very, very short amount of time. And I think that, in this world where media right now is so compromised,
Yeah.
I don't care. Most everybody I know, I don't care what side you're on, right, can at least agree that from what I've heard, just having basic conversations with people, yeah, they're like, I don't know if I necessarily believe any of the news anymore.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
well,
there.
thank
I'm
God.
there myself.
Yeah, right. So, podcasters, they don't have, stay in what
We don't
lane?
have that
What
luxury.
lane? What lane is that, sir?
We're kind of putting everything together at the last minute.
Right,
like,
yeah,
pulling our hair out,
exactly. Like whatever. But I think
Yeah.
that people are looking more towards individuals because they're not trusting
Yeah.
these bigger institutions,
right.
because these bigger institutions are being bought and paid for by whatever people.
Well, by one unit called, it's a Univision. I don't mean to sound out that actual name, but it's like it's called Univision, but it's also really like self-naming itself. Like,
Yeah.
it's one vision of everybody together.
Yeah.
It's a conglomerate.
And so I think like these independents are really
yeah,
really
like Tucker,
refreshing, and we
Tucker.
need them.
Yeah.
We need them.
Candace, Tucker. So, and listen, I don't mean just on the conservative end that's labeled that. I mean, like, everybody should be listening to the liberal,
Right.
listen to all of it. Go through the spectrum. Listen to all of it.
Right, but I think keeping an open mind, right? And not
Yes.
being so
Yeah.
shut down, like I don't want to hear that. That's where we're starting to get really into a lot of trouble. But the mass media has lost such huge followings, and now it has started to give this space to podcasters and independents like this, because people are not trustworthy of the bigger institutions, because there's a lot of it, and understandably so. I turned that fucking TV off 10 years ago. I haven't really watched any news, mainstream news, in at least 10 years, not left or right. I just don't do it because it's so fucking slanted that, I don't want to even get any of those thoughts in my head. First of
Right.
all, it's like,
Right. We talked about
yeah.
that with indoctrination with churches and things.
absolutely, but churches, schools,
Well, I don't
health
mean
organization,
any
everything.
Any kind
Yeah.
of organization.
Right.
Listen, I was humbled the other day because I saw something after this Charlie Kirk assassination by I think his name's Jeffree Star. He's a famous makeup artist that's dresses. He's not transgender, I don't think, but he has like some it's not transgender drag. It's drag.
Okay,
And
okay.
beautiful and wonderful, and was friends with Kanye and other people and stuff. And he's like, hey, look, I was born a man. We can plug the clip in if we need to, but he's like, I am who I am. That's who I was born. And you don't, and he's going off on about like, you don't do this. Like, this is a person. He has a family.
Right.
What's going on? Like, what happened to the humanity of people here? And that
We're
just
self-righteous.
kind of-
That's what's
Yeah,
happened. Is
well-
there's this whole like
To the
surge of
point murder,
self-righteousness.
assassination, right?
Yeah. No, but that's what it is. And all of a sudden, oh, you're going to be a rock star because you're the one taking him out? Like, no, what's going to happen to you in prison ain't going to be pretty, sweetheart.
Oh, but guess
It
what?
ain't.
So many people will be celebrating this person who took the fascist out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to stop celebrating
But I want
killers.
to pose the question for comments underneath this. Like, this was a special edition. Like, what I want to hear from people for real. Like, what made him a fascist? What does that mean?
Right. And if you don't
About
agree
him.
with us, let us
If you don't
know.
agree,
Yeah. I mean, there's a respectful way of doing it.
and we're not going to sit and argue and go, yeah, but we just want to know, like, what would justify that?
Because people like Charlie were trying to form a bridge.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so those are
Wow.
the
Yes.
people that we really need to continue to have
Which
speaking
is
up.
why he was killed.
Yeah, of course.
Which is exactly
of course.
why.
Of course.
He was changing the minds of the youth.
Well, he was
in
helping open that door,
open the
right?
door,
He was
and there
opening
were-
the door.
There were a lot of minds that were changed. Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed to be killed. The reason why he was killed was because
He was being
making-
effective.
because he was effective. And so he was visiting these colleges, these institutions that were considered prestigious and easily you can be indoctrinated in these places. And he
Right,
was
well-
knowing, hey, there was a Princeton kid with a Princeton sweatshirt. Hey, well, tell me about this. And the kid couldn't answer him. And he's just very, very, very proud of his Princeton sweatshirt.
Okay.
And he ended up throwing the water in the camera, like, because
Right, because he was
couldn't
being
debate him, he couldn't
a
debate him.
juvenile. Yeah.
Right.
Right, and he
so
couldn't
that's what the
respond. Yeah.
So the parents are paying for that. That's $80,000 plus a year.
Right.
To
To have a spoiled brat who,
University.
has emotionally unhinged.
I just hate you. I hate you, and they're that.
Yeah.
Now, where is the debate in that? There used to be a place where we could debate.
Yeah, and
and
that's
we
what he
had
was
an
trying to
intellectual
bring back that whole
conversation.
forum, right?
Yeah.
And I do. I think, you know what? I hope somebody can step into those shoes and, take over where he kind of
Without
left
fear,
off.
Without
Right.
fear.
And there's going to be fear.
Well,
There's
yeah,
going
I
to be
mean,
fear.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he had fear too.
But like these people cannot let us be deterred from telling the truth, from trying to
No.
create these bridges. And that's look,
Courage.
I feel like
Courage.
everybody needs to be able to speak their minds, have their opinions, but you cannot do that without listening and without understanding where somebody else is coming from. So, we are
Yeah.
saddened that this happened, to
Very
someone,
sad.
that was, trying to make a positive space and bridge young people together. But
let's encourage everybody, regardless of what happens with those kinds of things. Don't be fearful. Speak your mind.
yeah, well, listen, this life is about that.
Do it.
It is, and making an impact. And if you see,
Absolutely.
like, when people are doing that,
Yes.
call them out. Call them out.
Yes.
Like, unless you want to live in a world where we're all pretty much
Robots.
enslaved, which is where we're headed, because it is.
I mean, it's happening in the
It's
communist
happening.
countries.
So,
And they're many youth are being indoctrinated in this country right now to believe that capitalists are horrible. They're fascists. They just want to take your money. They create jobs.
right.
And they create incentive for people to want to be creative and flourish and do these patents and have and be like inventors.
Yes.
You can't do that in other countries.
No, and when you're in a
cannot.
communist country, I'm going to tell you right now, the creative people,
Oh,
oh no,
you're
art,
forced.
everything. It's like taken away, taken away.
Or
so
you're forced.
yeah,
Do
so
it for them while you sit. It's horrible.
let's
No.
just keep what we just wanted to touch base on that topic. I mean, we just want to keep the human in the humanness, guys, because if not, we will be an enslaved society like many other ones around the globe. And
Yes.
we need those Charlie Kirks. We need
We
those kind of people
at
to
any expense.
absolutely. So, R.I.P. Charlie. You made a
Love
huge
him.
impact
Love him.
in my life. I know for sure in one of my son's lives, and
God bless
just
the
around the
family.
globe,
Yeah.
that he was able to make that kind of an impact with such a short amount of time. So we hope to see more little Charlies pop up, and we hope that the violence that was thrust upon him, that people do not take that lightly.
Don't take it lightly, and also
He's
don't
a
fear
human
it.
being.
And also don't fear it. Look, it's time for everybody to step up and just have courage. Just don't worry. Just have courage. Speak your mind, because otherwise,
Well, that's
well,
it's if you don't have courage, we're done.
that's
We're
it.
done. We need
That's it.
courageous people right now because we are such a pivotal
And
space.
that's why we're speaking the way.
Yeah, right. I don't think. Listen, we got like 12 or maybe 75 viewers now, right?
Right now,
we
but
do.
you
Is
never
it something
know.
like that, Mark?
Listen,
75.
Hold on. Once we do, we know we're gonna have. Once we have
Yeah.
millions,
Yeah.
go back and watch
Right,
this and
right.
go, oh, Steph and Heather said that.
Yeah. Well,
It
exactly.
will mean something.
Exactly. Absolutely. Just may not right now, but no, we
But
are.
it's gonna.
We're trying to create our own mark, right? But we are
Yeah.
trying to be courageous, and I feel that just it does take a lot of shit to come out and do something
does.
like
And
this, right?
listen, we
It really
keep working,
does.
We keep meeting. We keep plugging away.
We
That's
are
what happens.
trying, but we are trying because we love
We love
humanity.
We love human.
We do. We love
do.
people, and
I
we
do.
want to be helpful. And
Yeah.
if something resonates to 5%, we're like, I'll take it.
Even if it's one person.
Yeah, I'll take it. I like the
take it.
5% more than the one, but
Well-
I'll take the one too. I will. I'll
No,
take
I
it.
only like the one.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and just keep the humanness, people. Like we got to stop having being so hate-filled. It first of all, it make you sick. And it just doesn't help humanity
Nope.
in
Nope.
general.
No.
All right. Have a wonderful night, guys.